What it is, YouTube?
Sé que se te sube la presión, yo lo noto en tu cara, no disimula la intención. Si me llamas, mami, sigo en tu dirección, porque contigo siento una buena conexión. Tú me miras lento, como leyendo mi señal. Yo te voy a tu lugar que no tiene nadie más, bebé. Te gusta que te llevo sin...
Let's go over today how you guys can achieve smooth, buttery, creamy auto-tune vocals. But first, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Suggest more video ideas down below. And yes, it is me, Nixon, okay? Check out MixLikeNix.com, where you guys can get the best vocal presets and also the best mixing and mastering services to get your vocals sauced up like this. So guys, like how I said, it's gonna be faceless for a couple of weeks, but don't worry, it is me. It is not AI making this video, I promise to you, okay guys? All right, so let's go over today. How can we achieve smooth auto-tune vocals? Guys, let's go over this. All right, we're gonna start from zero. The most important thing is the pre-prep, all right? But there's a deeper mentality to getting auto-tune vocals. The first thing you want to ask yourself is, what microphone is the artist using? You know, if somebody sends you a song, you want to ask them, what microphone did you guys use? And get a sense of the combination of the microphone in addition to the voice that somebody has. You know, maybe if somebody already has a sharp mid-range in their voice, then they use a TLM 103. Before you even open up a plugin, you can already identify, okay, there might be an issue over here. It's kind of like doing the pre-prep. You know, like a doctor, before you actually get to see the doctor, you have to do your basic blood work, your basic tests to get to the results, you know? So he kind of already has an idea of what the fuck's going on. A diagnosis, okay? That's a great way to get a diagnosis. So let's look at the chain. The first thing that I like to use is actually not even use this. You know, the first thing that I like to do is swap my plugins all around. So sometimes like I might put the frequency sweep at the end or at the bottom. This is just for detailed strokes.
Presión, yo lo noto en tu cara, no disimula la intención. Si me llamas, mami, sigo en tu dirección, porque contigo siento una buena conexión. Tú me miras lento, como leyendo mi señal. Yo te voy a tu lugar que no tiene nadie más, bebé. Te gusta que te llevo sin tener que controlar. Si yo te marco el paso, sé que te dejas llevar.
So you see what it sounded like in the beginning. That, like, of course I wouldn't do a frequency sweep right off the gate for that because that's not really gonna help. So the first thing I did use is the REQ though.
Presión, yo lo noto en tu cara, no disimula la intención. Si me llamas, mami, sigo en tu dirección, porque contigo siento una buena conexión. Tú me miras lento, como leyendo mi señal.
So first thing I hear from the raw vocal is the fact that it's lacking presence. I'm like, where is the raw vocal? So I have to use the REQ as a way to put out an SOS, a missing persons report on where is the presence of this vocal. So that's how we came up to this move in a simple low end roll. Even when I roll off the low end, it's not even because of the body. It's more just because I want to see like, yo, where's like the main highlight, the main attribute of the voice. And I notice it's in that upper floaty mid range. So next thing is the C4.
Te gusta que te llevo sin tener que controlar. Si yo te marco el paso, sé que te dejas llevar, bebé. Desde que te rozo al pasar por detrás, siento ese peligro que me quiere tentar. No prometo nada, pero no te voy a soltar. La noche hoy tiene que...
Imagine you're driving your car late at night and you can't really see the lead vocal inside the track. So then what you do is you turn on the high beams and all of a sudden you can see everything more clear. And that's what this C4 pop vocal preset is doing, guys. That's exactly what it's doing. It's adding the high beams to the vocal.
Te gusta que te llevo sin tener que controlar. Si yo te marco el paso, sé que te dejas llevar, bebé. Desde que te rozo al pasar por detrás, siento ese peligro que me quiere tentar. No prometo nada.
All right, so the most important thing too is let's move on to, you know, something like the split S. So you see, I don't really do it in order. I always try to tell you guys, this shit is never in order. I go back and forth and I change the formation of the plugins. All I know is I find a plugin that sounds good, then I start mixing and matching like socks and sandals, all right? So then like two plugins I like to use to get rid of the harshness, right? At this point, I would start working on my harshness and I'm like, fuck, okay, let me use a de-esser, the best de-esser in the game, Weiss, de-esser. Yes, sir. Okay. Yes, sir. Can I use the de-esser? Yes, sir. That's what esser, if you know what I mean, sir. Okay, so the de-esser is something that you want to use, sir, because if you want to abuse her, then you want to take out the harshness. Okay, so I use the notch. I like the notch right here a lot because I get to identify what the hell's going on. So it's a little bit better. I don't know why, but the side chaining on this plugin is better than like RDS. It just sounds better. You know, I can really hear what the fuck's going on in combination with the split S, in combination with the soothe.
Me gusta que te llevo sin tener que controlar. Si yo te marco el paso, sé que te dejas llevar, bebé. Desde que te rozo al pasar por detrás, siento ese peligro que me quiere tentar. No prometo nada.
So you see, like, there's something very important. Like, whenever you mix a song, I kind of work it like a multi-band. You know how a multi-band allows you to listen to music like this?
Me gusta que si yo te marco el paso, sé que te dejas llevar, bebé. Desde que te rozo al pasar por detrás.
Like, you gotta figure out how to make your ears work like that. Sometimes you gotta mix some shit and work. Like, for example, you see how now I'm all of a sudden I'm talking about the soothe to the split. I'm talking about the high end now. You feel me? I'm not, but you still hear a lot of mud in the vocal at this point. But I'm not focused on that because I'm literally like a multi-band compressor. You gotta listen to the different sections of your vocal to get it to be fully balanced. You know. And you know, at that point, I would use something like another thing right here. I heard a lot of mud, so I used the you know, the SSL, but it's not like the SSL is right after it. You know, like you mix and match.
Me gusta que te llevo sin tener que controlar. Si yo te marco el paso, sé que te dejas llevar, bebé. Desde que te rozo al pasar por detrás, siento ese peligro que me quiere tentar. No prometo nada, pero no te voy a soltar. La noche hoy
There's a lot in the mud range.
Me gusta que te llevo sin tener que controlar. Si yo te marco el paso, sé que te dejas llevar, bebé. Desde que te rozo al pasar por detrás, siento ese peligro que me quiere tentar. No prometo nada, pero no te voy a soltar. La noche hoy tiene que durar. Me gusta que te llevo sin tener que controlar. Si yo te marco el paso, sé que te dejas llevar, bebé.
So I really just love how, like, I wanted to still retain the body. You see how I'm doing a little bit with every plugin, because every plugin cuts in a different way. Like, obviously the Mag EQ does not cut the same way as these different plugins, and this is why sometimes you got to pull out the where is that one thing? EQ curve analyzer. All right, let me put this down real fast. So okay, for example, like, obviously this is, do you see how this does not cut like a regular fab filter? Like, this obviously does not cut like a regular fab filter. You know, like, this EQ has a different shape to it, and like, even when you cut on some of the analog stuff, it has a boost to it. Like, look at that. Like, it has, like, it's not even, especially when you don't use it more than one. When you use it like only one up or one down, that's when you get the most out of it. But look at that. That's not a direct bump. That's like a weird, you know, it's got its own shape to it. So that's why it's good to use a little bit of sugar, a little bit of spice to achieve the taste that you're going for. You know, like, you don't want to just only use one type of EQ to do the whole cut, because you're missing the opportunity of really sculpting the shape of the sound. Okay, so then at that point, then that's when I would start boosting to get my melodic auto-tune vocals to sound really good.
Me gusta que te llevo sin tener que controlar. Si yo te marco el paso, sé que te dejas llevar, bebé. Desde que te rozo al pasar por detrás, siento ese peligro que me quiere tentar. No prometo nada, pero no te voy a soltar. La noche hoy tiene que durar. Don't be shy.
Okay, so it sounds good. The mid-air is really good too, because it has a way of sounding like it just cut the mid-range, you know? But here's something important though. Like, you know how I got so much harshness from using that fucking fresh air? Now all of a sudden I put on the mastering grade de-esser, another one. A mastering grade de-esser before the chain even started. So that's why I say you gotta always mix and match, because it will produce a certain sound. You know, you mix and match, go back and forth before the boosting, after the boosting. You know, like, now that changes everything going through the chain. Like, you just keep playing around till you get the sound that you like. You know, you keep ironing the shirt until it's smooth as you want it to be. You know.
Leyendo mi señal, yo te voy tu lugar que no tiene nadie más, porque contigo siento una buena conexión. Cuando me acerco sé que se te sube la presión. Yo lo noto en tu cara, no disimula la intención. Y sigo en tu dirección, porque contigo siento una buena conexión. Tú me miras lento, como leyendo mi señal. Yo te voy tu lugar que no tiene nadie más, bebé. Te gusta que te llevo sin tener que controlar. Si yo te marco el paso, sé que te dejas llevar, bebé. Desde que te rozo al pasar por detrás, siento ese peligro que me quiere tentar.
Here's a gem to get your vocals to blend back. If you use this De-essing, that's just a regular fucking preset. I just adjusted it from my Soothe, my Spiff preset pack. You use that and just pull back the sharpness.
Cuando me acerco sé que se te sube la presión. Yo lo noto en tu cara, no disimula la intención. Si me llamas, mami, sigo en tu dirección, porque contigo siento una buena conexión. Tú me miras lento, como leyendo mi señal. Yo te voy a tu lugar que no tiene nadie más, bebé. Te gusta que te llevo sin tener que controlar. Si yo te marco el paso, sé que
So
te...
pay attention to how it feels like one is a little bit more tucked in. This one at the top right here is going to sound a little bit more tucked in because we just reduced the attack and the transients on it.
Tú me miras lento, como leyendo mi señal. Yo te voy a tu lugar que no tiene nadie más, bebé. Te gusta que te llevo sin tener que controlar. Si yo te marco el paso, sé que te dejas llevar, bebé. Desde que te rozo al pasar por detrás, siento ese peligro que me quiere tentar.
So that's how I get a vocal to sit well in the 2-track beat, is by literally, oh my, I can't believe I just gave my gem away. Hold on, I gotta stop recording. I gotta cut off the video. I can't believe I just gave my gem away. Fuck. The most important thing though is the fact that there's less attack in it, right? There's less transients in it. So because there's less transients in it, it sounds more back. So that's how a trick. If you want your vocals to sound more up front, have more transients. For example, go on the spiff, maybe use the boost mode and, maybe use slower attack compression. The more transients makes it sound more up front. The more saliva sounds, it makes it sound like, oh, this motherfucker's right in front of me, man. Like, what the hell? He's talking all up in my face. But when you take out the transients, it sounds a little bit more back and it makes the vocal sound a little bit more uniform with the 2-track beat. I just use this vocal writer. That shit's irrelevant. And then I use another soothe. I use the soothe as well as the toupee. But you see how like I'm showing you these combinations of plugins in different positions. That's because I don't, you shouldn't just mix with everything in order like a fucking robot. You know what I mean? You gotta have some dynamic feeling to it. That's what keeps things interesting, right? So to get my things to be smooth, I use the tape at the top and the soothe at the bottom.
Tú me miras lento, como leyendo mi señal. Yo te voy a tu lugar que no tiene nadie más, bebé. Te gusta que te llevo sin tener que controlar. Si yo te marco el paso, sé que te dejas llevar, bebé. Desde que te rozo al pasar por detrás, siento ese peligro que me quiere tentar. No prometo nada, pero no. Cuando me acerco sé que se te sube la presión. Yo lo noto en tu cara, no disimula la intención. Si me llamas, mami, sigo en tu dirección, porque contigo siento una buena conexión. Tú me miras lento, como leyendo mi señal. Yo te voy a tu lugar que no tiene nadie más, bebé. Te gusta que te llevo sin tener que controlar. Si yo te marco el paso, sé que te dejas llevar, bebé. Desde que te rozo al pasar por detrás, siento ese peligro que me quiere tentar. No prometo nada, pero no te voy a soltar. La noche hoy tiene que...
And the background vocals just blend in well with that lead vocal all together. So this is pretty much the end of the video today. Hey, if you guys want your vocals to be sauced up like this, you know where to go to, MixLikeNix.com. Reach out to me for a mix and master. I show you guys the whole process. And hey, this could be you having your track sounding amazing, professional, and ready to release, guys. Okay? So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Appreciate you guys now. Check out my website. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.